Hey guys, it's Amber. So today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me, and I'm trying to make sure my camera's in the right settings. I'm trying to make sure I'm staying in focus today. I'm trying to get back into the game a little bit better. So thank you for your patience with me as I've been trying to re-figure out this whole thing. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup look with the Naked 2. As much as I remember, I feel like the Naked 2 is the only one. Well, I guess Naked 2 and Naked 3 are the only ones that are still being sold out of the original Naked palettes. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's just a cool tone palette. It's one that I've had for quite a while, and so I felt like it would be one that would be fun to bring out and play with today. So if you guys missed my last video all about my February self-love challenge, I am wanting to stick with more neutral eyes this month and go for a brighter lip. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. So just sticking with something nice and neutral. And, you know, neutral doesn't mean that it has to be like really light. I can still use dark colors, but I'm just going to focus the colors on my lips and keep the neutrals on my eyes. So I also am going to be using a few things from my everyday makeup drawer. That will be my next video, so stay tuned if you want to see everything that I'm going to be using for the month. Alrighty, so I'm gonna actually start off with eyes, I think. Just go for it today. And I'm gonna get some eye primer on. This is the AOA Studios primer. It's $1 on Shop AOA, which is not Shop AOA, Shop Miss A is what it's called. And I feel like, I mean, for price-wise, it's a pretty decent primer. I mean, it's not like the world's greatest, but it definitely gets the job done. Okay, so what I usually like to do right after I put down my eyeshadow primer is I like to put down a cream colored base, because I feel like if I just go in with a color, sometimes it sticks and then it is hard to blend. So I usually like to just take like a bigger fluffy brush and go into something that matches my skin tone. So whatever your skin tone is, pick something that matches that, or a translucent powder. So I'm going to go into Foxy. I find this kind of helps kind of lock the primer in place, and it gives me something to blend my shadows into versus, just like I said, putting them down right on top of the primer. For me, just doesn't seem to work as well. And if you have a problem with your eyeshadows being a little patchy or not blending as well, you may want to try this and see if that helps you. So Little Miss is hanging out with me today, so if she pops in or out, she is just right here watching something on my phone because Mom wants to film and you got to do what you got to do, right? When I'm getting ready, I like to have a faraway mirror so I can kind of look and see what it looks like when people are looking at me. But then I also like to have like my makeup mirror closer too, because it's funny how neither one of them will tell the whole story. Sometimes you get so close up that you forget to look at it from a distance, or sometimes you're looking at it from far away, and when you get close up you realize something's not as blended as well. So I always usually like to check both just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And honestly, I still end up missing stuff, and then I'll go back and look at the footage and be like, well, didn't blend that out so well, did I? But you know what? It's life. I can only do what I can do. All right, so let's see. I think that I'm going to go in with Tease. This is the main transition shade in the palette, so it's one that I use most often because it's one of the few matte shades other than the black and the Foxy. So it pretty much is your go-to transition shade. Now I like putting a color in my crease because I feel like it helps draw this part of my eye back. See, I've got hooded eyes, so this part kind of hangs over a little bit. And depending on how hooded your eyes are and how old you are, this part of your eye is going to sag down a little more. I find that when I highlight this part of my eye on my hood, it just looks weird. Like if I just take a bright shimmery color and put it all over my eye, it just doesn't look as flattering to me. So I like to darken that spot up to kind of help it recess in. So that's what I'm going to do with this Tease color. And I do it a couple of ways. Sometimes I'll just go back and forth in like the windshield wiper motion, which is popular, and sometimes I'll focus it more on the corner here where the actual hood is. I trained myself to kind of keep my eyes up so it's not as noticeable. In a lot of older pictures you can see I'm like this and you can't even see my eyes. And now when I take pictures I'm like, you can actually see my eyes. So part of that is just getting used to holding your eyes open, I guess. So I'm going to go over a little bit, but not all the way in, and I like to focus this color kind of on the outside. If you're having a hard time getting your color placement, you can always just take your finger here and kind of hold up your lid a little bit and then kind of work it in right there. And then when you drop it, you can see how that's kind of shadowed in right there. It just depends how much lid space you have. Like I have quite a bit of space between here where some people may not have as much. So that's the hard thing about like following tutorials, is you kind of have to find what works for your individual eye. And I know there's some things that I do that aren't necessarily going to work for other people. It just really depends on finding what works for you, and that's kind of the challenge. The nice thing about makeup is that it washes off. So if you try something one day and it doesn't look so hot, it's alright. You can wipe it off, you can start over, it's not permanent. Also, when I'm putting my color on, I try to make sure that I don't drag it down too far this way. And if I need to, when I put on my foundation, I'll bring it up, because anytime, like if I was to let this color pull down this way, it just makes my eyes look more droopy. You can see how the peak of the color is like pointed up. If it's like more down here, it just is going to make my eyes droop more. So I have to be careful, and it's something I kind of do without thinking, so I'm trying to point it out as I go along, is I really like to focus it kind of like up at this point in my brow. That way it doesn't draw my eye down more. And if you struggle with this, just put some tape on, and that'll kind of help you give the direction of keeping it up, so that like optical illusion of your eyes lifting instead of the optical illusion of it going down, or the reality of it going down, because hey, sometimes it really does go down like that. Okay, let's see. Should we have a little fun? I think I'm gonna go into blackout. It is the black, but I'm just gonna like touch in there just a tiny bit. Pop. I'm gonna go right where that hood is and just darken it a little more. So we can use black and not have it be like a complete smoky eye. See, it's just deepened that up just a tiny bit. If you have a hard time blending your eyeshadow going back and forth, you always can try like doing the like little circles, and that helps it so you don't get like harsh lines. Another thing I like to do is if I need to blend but I feel like it's just getting to be more and more and more, I will put down the brush I'm using, pick up another brush that's clean, and then from there I'll just soften out the lines. Then I'm not adding more and more and more color. I'm just softening it out. Okay, let's see. What should we do for the lid? I always go into Decay. It's like my favorite color. So I want to pick something different. I think I'm going to go into Pistol and Verve. And I'm going to put Pistol on the lid and then just kind of highlight it with a little bit with the Verve. Yes, Verve. It always looks weird to me when I have my eyeshadow on and no foundation, because I feel like it's just unbalanced, but it is what it is. So anyway, we are doing pretty good. My kids are doing well in school, and I feel like things are kind of getting back to normal, or from having the break from school. My husband is back at work, but he's working so much that he's literally exhausted all the time. So, you know, we just hang in there. You got to do what you got to do at the end of the day, you know. But thank you to those of you who asked how we're doing. We're just, you know, keep moving along. I'm still primarily taking care of the kids on my own just because of my husband's workload. He is so tired when he gets home, and it's so late that I pretty much am still doing most of that stuff with myself, but how grateful I am that I don't have to work on top of everything that I'm doing. So I've gotten a little bit of an organizing bug, and no, it wasn't just because of the whole Marie Kondo craze, which I mean definitely adds to that whole like general feeling of wanting to declutter your house. But we've almost lived in this house for a year. Actually, Super Bowl Sunday was the day that we submitted the offer on this house, and so it's crazy to think that we've lived here this long. And yeah, so it's just good after being in a place a year just to kind of go through and just evaluate, like, have we used this thing? Is there a better place for it? Is it functioning where it's at? And one, am I using it? And two, am I not using it because it's not accessible or because I forgot about it, or, you know, those kind of things I think can make a big difference. Because there's some like decorations I didn't use during the year, but it wasn't necessarily because I don't like them. It's just because I didn't know where they ended up. So I'm just kind of going through things now that we've been settled in here. I'm kind of figuring out where everything needs to go. Highlight a little bit of my lid with this verb. Just kind of open it up a little bit. The little bit I have. Not quite a halo eye. You're welcome, sweetheart. But just adding a little bit of lightness. I'll touch this up too once we get the foundation rolling. Alrighty, so I'm going to put on some NYX Pore Filler. And just because it's fun to switch things up, I'm actually going to use a foundation brush today. This is a Bare Minerals brush, and it has like the little hole in the top. I think I got it in like a bag or something. So I'm just going to dot this around on my face and then blend in. Kind of sweep up there, so you kind of clean up that edge. I like to kind of go in circular motions because I feel like it kind of blends the pores out and then I don't end up with streaks. I used to hate back in the day when I would go in and get my makeup done and they'd use one of the flat makeup brushes and I could just see all the streaks. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I did watch one episode of Marie Kondo, and so I actually have used that folding technique before because a couple of years ago there was this big kind of craze again, and I don't remember who it was. It was the lady that was on Hoarders, I think, but she also had a different show where she would just help organize, and it wasn't so like just like crazy, like over the top hoarding. It was more like clutter hoarding, if that makes sense. And I remember seeing her use that like folding technique where it like stands up in the drawer, and I did it for a while, and then for whatever reason I just, you know, got in a hurry and forgot about it. And so watching that, I was like, oh yeah, I've done this before. So I tried it again, and the thing I struggle with is just finding, like, I have tank tops and shirts in the same drawer, and sometimes I'm like rifling through trying to find, you know, what I want to work out in and what I want to wear is just a shirt for the day. And so having separated where I can see them, I think is actually working for me. But it's getting to be that time where I need to start going through makeup stuff again and bath and body product stuff again. So let me know, are you guys interested in seeing some of that decluttering happening? Because, you know, after a year of living here, if I've got bath and body products that I haven't really used or skincare products, I probably should get rid of them, even though it's just that hard thing of like, well, I spent so much money on this, or it's such a good product. But I mean, if it's open and you haven't used it, it's kind of like, ugh, probably should just pass it along, even though I know it's hard. Trying to use up the last little bit of this for my project pan, the Master Conceal Concealer. This is another good time to kind of bring that up over here and kind of clean that edge up. That's one nice thing about doing your eyeshadow first. I feel like there's some people who are diehard one way or diehard the other way. And usually I do my foundation first just because I hate looking at my skin all muddy with my eyeshadow on. I feel unbalanced, but honestly it does really help kind of clean things up nicely. Okay, I've got this Bare Minerals matte powder. I haven't used this in a while, but I'm going to use that under my eyes here. I'm not a big fan of baking. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem to ever quite work out for me. Then I'll use a fluffier brush to kind of brush it all over. This is a bedhead brush that I literally have had since I worked with bedhead makeup 1,000 years ago in a salon. Alright, for eyebrows, I'm going to use this Brow Gal. This is from Tanya Crooks. This is Brown Hair 02. This is one I got in a BoxyCharm. And I really liked it. It's just kind of nice to switch through things and try out different looks. It's a little dark for my blonde hair, but sometimes I like that fierce brow, especially if you're going to have a strong lip, you know? Is that time to do my brows again? Alright, so I've been using this in my project pan for like all of last year. But I decided, you know, I still want to kind of finish this up So I've just been going in with this and these blushes as well. So I'm going to use the Hoola here. And then I'm going to go into, let's see, this is Coralista. They didn't put the names on here. They were on the actual blushes, but like once you use into them. And Little Miss loves this one, and so she was playing with it. So it's kind of gotten all marred. But it still works.
Wow, look, Mommy, it. It's so big.
What's big, honey?
It's big.
Oh, my light? Yeah, that's Mommy's light.
That's not my light.
That's Mommy's light. So this is a Sedona Lace brush. This is an FB01, and I'm going to put my e.l.f. highlighter on. This is the HD highlighting powder. My skin has cleared up a little bit, so I can put it right here again without it drawing too much attention to texture. It always does a little, but you know, there's a certain point where you're like, I don't really care because I like the highlight, you know, gotta live a little. I don't personally like it down my nose, but if you do, you know, add it there. I don't really feel like I need to draw attention to this anymore, so I'm like, I'm good, I'm good. All right, so I'm gonna keep my eyeliner simple, and I'm gonna line my inner rim up here, and then just the top gently, and then just a little bit underneath. This is the LA Colors Auto Liner. I've been using this. Honestly, it's super cheap and it works well. So I'm like, Eyeliner can definitely make your eyes stand out a little more, but I have to be careful not putting too much underneath my eye and making it drag down, especially if you have a little bit more droopy eyes. But I do like a little color there just to kind of help create balance. So I'm going to go back in with Pistol, which is the gray color that's on my lid, and just barely kind of at the lash line. Add a little depth there. I just don't want to like drag it down way too far, at least for me. Now if I put the black in my inner rim, it makes my eyes stand out more, but for some people it can really close it off. So I'm going to go with a little bit open eye look. I just brightened up the inner corners a little bit more with Verve, and I curled my lashes. Now I'm going to use my Jordana Best Lash Extreme and do my mascara.
Look, Mama, the princess.
Alright guys, I'm going to go with something a little different on the lips. This is number 1661. This is the Clean Color Madly Matte Metallic Lip Gloss. I got this off Shop Miss A. It's a really cool purpley pink color. Okay honey, I'm doing liquid lip. It's not. She's like, I'm ready, Mom. I'm ready for my lipstick. Okay, you want some? Boop. Okay, let's blend it in. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. Want to show everybody? Want to show everyone how pretty it is? Oh, man, that's so pretty. Okay, look at the camera. Look at the camera. Look. Look how pretty it is. Can you see it? It's kind of smeared, but we did our best. Okay, Mommy turn. Okay.
Look, camera. Look at camera. Here. Oh, what's it? What's up in my nose?
Oh, your lipstick looks beautiful. See? Look in the camera. It looks beautiful.
Oh, look.
Oh, thank you, honey. That's so nice. That's so nice. Go kissy face. Thank you, sweetheart. You're so sweet. Can you say hi, everybody?
Hi, buddy.
How old are you? Are you 2? Are you 1 or 2 or 3? 2. You're 2, huh? What's your favorite things? What's your favorite thing to eat?
Pizza.
Pizza? Yeah. What else do you like to eat?
Banana.
What?
Cool.
Food?
Banana.
Bananas, yes. Alright, here's the finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup look, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!